Picture this. You're standing in a battle line almost 3,000 years ago. You can't see the enemy yet. The tree line is quiet, and then you hear it, a low, rolling boom, steady, relentless, growing louder with every second. Your hands are shaking before you've even drawn your weapon. That reaction wasn't weakness. It was biology, and ancient commanders understood it long before anyone had a word for psychology. War drums weren't just there to keep soldiers marching in a straight line. Across Egypt, China, Rome, and the Mongol steppe, drums were treated as a weapon in their own right. Something you deployed on purpose to break an enemy's nerve before a single sword was drawn. Historian Adrienne Mayer, who spent years cataloging unconventional weapons of the ancient world, documented dozens of cases where ancient militaries weaponized sound itself, using drums, horns, and rhythmic noise the same way you'd use poison or fire to win a fight before the fighting started. Here's where it gets specific. In 684 BCE, the state of Qi invaded the smaller state of Lu, in what's now Shandong province, China. The Qi army, confident in its numbers, beat their war drums and charged. Lu's advisor, a strategist named Cao Gui, told his ruler to hold the line. No response. The Qi drums sounded a second time. Still nothing. It wasn't until the third drum roll that Cao Gui finally gave the order to attack, and Lu, the weaker army, won decisively. Afterward, he explained why. The first drum beat fills soldiers with spirit. The second, it fades. By the third, courage is gone entirely. He'd waited for the enemy's own drums to exhaust them. That single battle became so influential it shaped a Chinese idiom still used today. The idea that momentum, once lost, cannot be summoned back on command. And here's what's strange. This wasn't superstition. Cao Gui had, almost by accident, discovered something about the human nervous system that modern researchers are only now measuring in a lab. 2,500 years later, in 280 BCE, the Romans got their own brutal introduction to acoustic warfare. When the Greek king Pyrrhus brought war elephants to Italy, his riders paired the animals with drums and clanging weapons, producing a wall of chaotic noise that Roman soldiers and their horses had never encountered. The horses panicked. The formation broke. Rome hadn't lost the battle to elephants alone. They'd lost it partly to sound. Some armies figured out how to turn this weapon back around. The Cardians of Thrace in the 7th century BCE trained their cavalry horses specifically to resist the piercing pipe music enemy armies used to spook animals, turning a weakness into an advantage other armies hadn't accounted for. So the ancients clearly believed sound could break an enemy's nerve. But why does a rhythmic, booming noise actually do that to a human body? This is where it gets worse, in a good way if you're the one holding the drum. In 2026, researchers publishing in Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience exposed 36 participants to infrasound. Sound below 20 Hz, frequencies the human ear can't consciously register. The subjects couldn't hear it. Their bodies still reacted. Cortisol levels rose. Self-reported irritability and unease increased. The scientists concluded that even sound you can't perceive can shift your hormones and put your nervous system on high alert, priming you for a threat your conscious mind hasn't even identified yet. A war drum doesn't just produce audible sound. Large drums generate low-frequency vibration that travels through the ground and through your chest cavity before it ever reaches your ears. You don't just hear a war drum from 300 meters away. Something in your body feels it first. But drums weren't only a weapon aimed outward. They were also a tool aimed inward, at your own side. Researchers studying synchronized physical activity, drumming, rowing, marching, dancing, have repeatedly found that moving in rhythm with a group raises your pain threshold, a proxy scientists use for measuring endorphin release. Psychologist Emma Cohen's research on synchronized rowing crews found exactly this effect. Later studies on group drumming and dance confirmed it. When soldiers marched and moved in time to the same beat, they weren't just staying organized. Their bodies were quietly dosing them with the same neurochemicals your brain uses to bond you to the people around you, and dull the sensation of pain. One drumbeat, two completely opposite effects depending on which side of it you were standing on. Which means ancient commanders had, without any understanding of cortisol or endorphins, built a weapon that simultaneously terrified their enemies and chemically bonded their own soldiers, using nothing but rhythm. And that mechanism never left you. It's still sitting inside your nervous system right now. It's why the bass drop in a packed arena makes your chest tighten before you consciously register the emotion. It's why a slow, deliberate drumbeat in a horror film raises your heart rate faster than a jump scare does. It's why military parades, sports arenas, and political rallies still use synchronized drumming to unify a crowd's emotional state in seconds. You've never stood in a Bronze Age battle line, but somewhere in your chest, the same circuitry that made a Roman soldier's hands shake at the sound of an elephant drum is still fully wired, still listening, still waiting for a rhythm to tell it whether to feel safe or afraid. The drum was never really the weapon. Your own nervous system was. The drum just knew exactly which button to press.